welcome to Angry Old Dudes Episode 2. I'm Brandon.
I'm Q.
And we have a lot of things to talk about. We actually moved the recording of this from Thursday to Wednesday, because Q called me fired up and ready to yell about stuff. So, you're getting this one day earlier. We are going to run through our calendar, which we've actually prepared this time. July 3rd.
July 3rd is Fuck You Pay Me. They're an old hardcore band from Cleveland, and they're coming to the Side Central for the day before Independence Day. Also playing DSA, Monitor Lizard, Iron Oath, and another band that Brandon probably can't read my handwriting from across the room. Cold Sore, yeah, they're from Dayton. I haven't seen them yet. But definitely going to check them out. The show is donations, Fuck You Pay Me. They're, I've never seen them before, but they're playing This Is Hardcore this year. And definitely check that out. And then the following day, on the 4th of July, on our Independence Day, where we shoot fireworks at each other and hope not to blow our hands off, we got Drown and Point Blank and Abduction and Damaged Goods and Mad World, also at the Side Central. That show's $6. And next,
on the 7th, we have the Cincinnati Comic Book Expo, which is not music related, but if you're listening to this, you're probably a nerd and you love comic books. We love comic books. Q lives by comic books, so we thought that to be important.
Somebody team up with me, because last time I tried to team up with these fucks, and they were all still at work.
7:10 we have Puddle of Mud, 7 Circle Sunrise, that's local. Livid.
I thought Puddle of Mud broke up because that dude got booed off stage.
I don't know, man. Wes Scanlon's a dickhead. But, they got booed off stage somewhere in, Indiana, and they quit playing and left.
Honestly, hang on. The one thing I have to say about this, because it's the funniest Puddle of Mud thing to me, and that is, if anybody out there really listens to Suicidal Tendencies, there's a song called I Saw Your Mommy and Your Mommy Was Dead. Riff for riff, vocal pattern, besides the fast part in the middle, it is She Fucking Hates Me.
I've heard it. It's true.
And I legitimately had to say something to that dude, and the only thing he had in response was, well, before I got in this band, I never heard of Suicidal Tendencies. And I don't know how you go through your life not hearing of Suicidal Tendencies. So I'm not calling him out or anything, but kind of calling him out. Yeah. But I mean, he's in Puddle of Mud, so I mean,
he's got a bad attitude and always has. He's been arrested a dozen times. He's just known for being a dick. So
he looks like a somehow more white trash Kid Rock.
Yeah. 7 Circle Sunrise, Livid and Rootbound. That show is probably,
I don't know. Realistically, it should be a $10 show. It's probably $18.
Coming up the following day, 7/11, that is I Prevail and Danger Kids at the Thompson House in Newport.
Brandon's favorite friend, Alex Ash, plays in Danger Kids.
Also on that day, the other side of town, we have A Voice for the Innocent presents Speak Up Saturday. It's a great charity event. People share stories, artwork, poetry, performance art, all kinds of things, overcoming just struggles in their life, and it's pretty moving stuff. I highly suggest you check that out if you were not at the show on the other side of town.
That's at the 86 Club, right?
That is at the 86 Club in Clifton. 7/12, I got invited to this. I don't know much about it. A Jam and Draw featuring Bad Idols at Maudie's. I don't know what a Jam and Draw is. Is it Pictionary with bands?
No clue, but that would be awesome if it was Pictionary with bands. If you haven't been to Maudie's, you should go one time. If you're used to going to basement shows, it's the opposite. It's literally playing in an attic. The ceiling there is slanted, you're in the slant of an attic. I saw Amfad and a couple other bands there a couple weeks ago. And if nothing else, if you're like me and you ever deal with anxiety and you hate people, but you like people watching, it's really fun to watch people walk up and down Main Street and look at you funny when metal is playing, when every other club is playing hip-hop. Not that AmFat's really metal, but
7:13. That's Ringworm.
yeah, Ringworm, Suicide Pact, Bolt Cutter, and Abraxas at the side. I'm not sure how much that show is. I'm going to say it's somewhere between $6 and $10. You should definitely come out. Most of the times that I've seen Ringworm have been in large settings, and the side central probably is 100 cap room. So it's going to be a blast. Bring your own personal fans. It's hot as balls in that place, as it should be. It's hardcore metal.
7:17. We have a house show in Trenton, Ohio. That's all locals. All My Friends Are Dead, Color of Amber, 7 Years Dead, Hearts Like Shadows, Monarch, and 2 Seconds Too Late. I believe that is a free show.
It is a free show. There's also another show that day that I will be at. That is Homewrecker and Bonehead and Ghost Psalm. That is at the Great Dane House in Norwood. Hit one of us up for a flyer, or I'll send you the address. And obviously, being at a house in Norwood, it'll be an early show, so maybe you can check out both. You can go see Tom DeLonge and the All My Friends Are Dead band. I don't know why, and I don't even care what Zach thinks, but if you actually listen to Zach Prost from All My Friends Are Dead, he really is starting to sound like Tom DeLonge. And if you don't know who Tom DeLonge is, that's okay. He was the shittiest part of Blink-182.
If you don't know who Tom DeLonge is, just click the X button in whatever you're listening to this on right now. So the following day, 7/18, we have a Rhythm and Booze EP release at Rick's Tavern in Fairfield.
I don't know what Rick's Tavern is.
It's in Fairfield. It's by Michael's Pool Hall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Also, different show, that's Pulse 8, Alive Inside, and Raising Babylon. Covered a little bit on that last week.
7/19, that's July 19th. It's a Sunday, I believe. There's 2 shows going on, and you can actually make it to both. The first early show is Old Wounds, Juggernaut, and Push Off at the Side Central. That show starts about 5:30 and will be done by 9. It's a good old school hardcore Sunday matinee for anybody that's over the age of 30, which is probably just me that's listening to this. But and then after that show, we have at the Tacocracy, you have Bolt Cutter, Until We Are Ghosts, Threads, and a couple other bands.
Tacocracy is in Northside, and they have tacos, and people seem to love them. I don't do tacos, but people seem to like their tacos a lot. So
if you get it, if you can go to a bar that sells, if you drink alcohol and tacos and hear music, like, what are you going to do better than that? Plus, shows there don't start till 9, so like I said, you can get both shows in and have a awesome Sunday, and then wake up pooping your brains out on Monday from all the tacos and beer.
7/24, does it say Bleak?
Oh, Bleak is playing at Tacocracy on July 24th. They are a hard-to-describe band, but they kind of sound like Nails meets Neurosis. It's probably the heaviest thing that you will hear lately. They're from Syracuse. The last time they came, they played Tacocracy. I think there was like 80 people in a room that holds 40. But they are awesome. And you should definitely check that out. All shows at Tacocracy are donations. You know, show up, throw a couple bucks, make sure the touring band can get from Cincinnati to their next place of playing.
Just don't be a dick.
Yeah, donations only doesn't mean it's a free show.
That means you better fucking donate, or else you shouldn't be at the show.
Yeah, and it could be any type of donation. If you want to say like, "Hey, I'm not going to give $3 for the show, but I'll show up and buy this touring band shirt," like that's a good.
It's something like a lot of people go to free shows and they're like, well, why are you getting mad at me for? It was advertised free shows. Like, it was advertised a donation show, and you're an asshole because you have $3. Like, you were entertained. Donate some money. Just because the venue isn't allowed to charge does not mean you shouldn't pay.
And most of the time, if you want to actually argue that kind of stuff, if you can actually prove to the promoter that, hey, like, the show's $5 and you have $3. Nobody's going to send you away.
Right.
Just come out and support.
So that is July 30th. We have Dustin Kensrew from Thrice at the Southgate House Revival playing stuff from, I guess, his new acoustic record, his solo record, rather. I'll be there. Like, my whole band will be there. It'll be absolutely great.
I won't be there unless he does the illusion of safety acoustically from front to back.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. The 1st of August, happening at the Underground, we have In Days Forgotten, Locals, Dead Set, Seeing Ghosts, Glass World, and Friday Giants.
That same day, also for nostalgia factor at Bogart's, is Cold Chamber, Fear Factory, and Josta. I'm sure that show's like $30, so make up a fake security pass and walk in the back door.
Coming through 5th of August, we have the All-Stars Tour coming through Thompson House. Look, if you like the All-Stars Tour, you already know who's on it. We don't have time to mention all 60 bands, mostly because I don't care about any of them personally.
Brandon's favorite band, Come the Dawn, is on that.
Yeah, but the All-Stars Tour is like 40 bands, and they're mostly bad. Go to it if you like. It'll be loud. The 7th of August, we have our very own Grim State at the Backstage in Covington. I don't know anything else about that show.
I think Amphad's playing. I'm not really sure. Maybe that was August 10th. I'm not really too hip on that show. Just saw it today, actually.
Yep. Here's the thing. Like, if you heard Grim State a year ago, they were a hardcore band. They were by the numbers. They were just a good hardcore band, right? They get another guitar player. They move some shit around. It's borderline power violence. It's incredible live. They're completely different. Like, if you've been sleeping on Grim State, get your shit together and go out to a show, because they will absolutely blow your mind. Coming up, 8th of August, this actually just released today at 4, we have Denialist, formerly known as Hail to the King, saying goodbye to Cody Hale and bringing in their new vocalist. I know a lot of people are pissed, and at least 2 profiles have been made, 2 fake profiles on Cody's behalf. Like, I don't know, spreading fake news and stupid shit. I'm pretty sure one or both were Kevorkian. Prick. Yeah, so that is Denialist saying goodbye to Cody Hale.
It's also not only Cody's last show, it's also Zachary's last show.
I've not heard that.
I know, I forgot to bring it up before the podcast.
Interesting. Also on that show, we have, it's all local, Dayton's Eternal Void just introduced their new bass player last night. Q was at the show. They played well.
They played... I was going to get into that a little bit later, so we'll talk about it in a second, after we get through these.
Fucking rocks. Also on that show, I think it's Plague's first show, I want to say...
Hunter's Chase.
Hunter's Chase recently changed the name from...
I don't know, When Tigers Fight or Where Eagles Dare or something.
When the Tigers Break Free.
Yeah, something. I'm Still Sleeping Tigers. You remember that band?
Tigers is a different thing.
Yeah, I know that band.
There was one more, and I have the flyer handy.
Yeah, the one more you're forgetting is your own band, you fucking moron.
No, there was another one.
I don't think there was.
Oh, Juggernaut. Juggernaut's on it. Yeah. So our locals, Juggernaut, and then my band, We Are As Ronin, probably opening that show. It is going to be psychotic. Like, Cody's probably gonna bleed everywhere. Like, some little girls.
He's gonna bleed everywhere.
Yeah. Like,
we'll make him bleed everywhere.
If he's gonna do it like for the last time, he's gonna do it big.
And hopefully, if everything works out, we'll actually have Cody Hale in here next week.
If he's not working.
If he's not working.
All he does is work. Feed babies and work. So fast forward a couple of days, we have Devil You Know coming through on the 12th of August. We covered that like way too much in depth last time.
Yeah, way too much. If
8/26.
you like Howard, then you'll go to that show. August 26th. I don't know if it was just announced today. I just saw it literally 12 seconds before we started this podcast. Makes me very excited. One of my favorite bands growing up, 7 Seconds, is playing that Southgate revival. And it's going to make it a good week because August 27th, is the big show. Terror, Turnstile, Bane, Backtrack, Heavy Chains, Forced Order. That'll be at Legends. That show is $25, $23 pre-sale. And it will probably sell out, I think, after looking through the tour flyer for that. I think we are the second smallest venue on that entire tour. There are a couple places on that tour that probably hold 1,000 and will probably hit 1,000. Legends holds like 300.
And it will probably be packed.
And it will definitely be packed. Bring your own breathing apparatus.
The only last thing we have on here is September 19th,
Cubapalooza. We do have some bands confirmed. Knocked Loose will be returning this year. Another Mistake will be playing. Eternal Void is confirmed. We Are As Ronin obviously will be playing. The Requiem has said they're good to go. And there's a couple other bands that I'm not thinking about right now.
It's September, we got time.
It's September, we have time. There will probably be about 12 or 13 bands. And it's probably going to be $5. We're not sure on the venue yet. But as always, it'll be a good time to see a wide variety of different local and a couple regional bands. And I'll be 32, so fuck you.
Quickly, before we get into like the actual issues here, because your day just consists of these issues.
No, I got a couple things with your day.
Okay.
One of the things I do want to give a shout out to was originally we were supposed to do this tomorrow with Chubb City. Their bass player is actually in the hospital, so our prayers and whatever people that don't believe in prayer would give them, our hearts go out to Brandon from Chubb City, and hopefully he does recover. And that's just sad. And we were talking about, I'm not sure, Brandon is a newer member of the band, but obviously Jake and Steve and Ben are like family to us. So obviously a member of their family is hurting, and we would like to spread our best wishes for a quick recovery for him.
And really the worst part of it is that he went straight to intensive care, and they don't seem to know exactly what's going on. So, thoughts, good vibes, anything you got, throw their way, because Chubb City may be one of the most obnoxious bands on the planet Earth, but they are some of the coolest and nicest dudes on Earth, so hopefully.
So that was one of the things that I wanted to say. One of the things that drives me insane, but it's not really that big of an... It is a big issue, but it's not. We did have an incident at work yesterday that you could either find offensive or funny or just not know what to say about it. Usually the portion of your day will be whatever, something goofy happened at our works. Yesterday, there was a person that I work with that was arguing with me, and he said, in his opinion, he doesn't care for gay marriage as long as they go live on their own fucking island. So we were arguing about this for several minutes.
It's easily the most backhanded way to say you support something.
And I don't understand it. The kid's 21. He's not like old and outdated. He's a 21-year-old kid. I just don't understand it. Also, for anyone that has been sleeping under a rock for the last week, literally 6 hours after we recorded our podcast last week, gay marriage was legalized in the United States of America.
Hang on. Let me. This has been bugging the absolute shit out of me. Everybody says gay marriage is legal. They legalized gay marriage. They were not giving new rights to a group of people. They amended the Constitution to say that all people can get married. It does not matter what genders? Everyone's just, oh, gay marriage. It's just fucking marriage. Like, that shit drives me absolutely insane. Equal rights is equal rights. Like, it's not gay marriage, it's just a fucking marriage. However, it is absolutely incredible that, and out of nowhere too. Like we recorded our podcast. Like, I ate some chicken nuggets or whatever the fuck I ate, and like went to bed. And I woke up the next day, and Facebook was a fucking frenzy of rainbows and crazy shit and stupid, hateful motherfuckers that all got deleted, like, immediately.
See, I was lucky. I didn't actually see any hateful motherfuckers. I had loving motherfuckers posting other people's hateful shit, but I didn't have anybody on my Facebook friends and my Facebook feed or even my Instagram feed that said fuck gay people.
I unfriended 2 people.
I mean, like, the only person, honestly, that is on my Facebook that I could see is against it is my dad, and he would never post anything. And I mean, like, he is a devout Catholic. I understand. I don't agree with at all, but I understand what he thinks because he still thinks the Bible is number one and blah, 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 blah. But anyways, I digress. Back to the story. Me and this kid at work are arguing, and an old lady walks in the door. She's about somewhere between 73 and 82.
Oh, that's right. This is good.
And
73 and 82.
73 and 82. I'm sticking with that. Because she wasn't 70, but she wasn't 85. So 73 to 82. So she walks in and she's like, oh, I kind of saw you guys arguing. What are you guys arguing about? And I was like, oh, we're just arguing about stuff. It's not a big deal, ma'am. Like, how can I help you? Did you already have an order in? And the coworker was like, hey, we were arguing about gay marriage because he agrees with it and I don't. And the old lady with a straight face and the nicest voice looks at us and she's like, that's nothing you can argue about. Gay people aren't real.
Gay people aren't real. Alright.
And the thing is, like, what do you say to that? She's 73. If somebody was 20
She
and...
might be 82.
Yeah, 73 to 82. But, I mean, that's what I'm saying. That old, like... Maybe she's really... And then she went on a little bit. She tried to say that gay people are a myth made up by the government to keep us distracted. So maybe she's never met a gay person, but...
Or she's just into, like, the deepest denial ever. Like,
I don't know.
Like, somebody said that she's like, oh, I'm gay. I'm a man. My name's Jeff. I like to keep the romantic company of men. And she went, oh, no, you don't. You don't. You're just making a joke. Like, that's deep denial. Like, that's Inception level denial. That's.
I mean, at the same time, like, I only met her for 2 minutes. She could have gone outside and been like, where am I?
Yeah, she's probably.
What year is this?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is this computer I hold in my hand?
So,
Did you have anything from your day at work today?
Oh, my day, like my week, has just been fucking dumb. So, we had my supervisor step down from his position, resigned, because he and management just weren't getting along, and he probably had something else going on, and, you know, I've talked to him, things are cool. We had another guy get fired. We have all these seasonal employees, all these high school kids, and, like, 2 of them are out of town on, like, a school trip or some shit, and then one more guy's, like, backpacking through California, so really compared to
So a
this
hippie.
time, yeah, but he's, like, 17.
So a young hippie?
Yeah, he's a douche. He told me to chillax the other day. Like, if I wasn't at work, I'd have slapped the fucking taste out of his mouth. Like, even if I should chillax, don't fucking tell me to chillax. Never say, like, I feel like an asshole having
Chillax,
said
bro.
chillax, like, 7 times now. So, effectively, compared to this time last month, we're down like 5 dudes. And I'm buried in work, and, like, Monday, we switched inventory servers, and, like, everything went down, and we just fucking swamped. And I ordered a pizza yesterday, and I was like, I'll get a large, and I'll eat it for lunch both days. And, like, Marco's barbecue chicken pizza's fucking delicious. And I ordered it in a hurry. And I forgot to tell him no pizza sauce, because we eat a barbecue chicken pizza. The pizza sauce just overpowers barbecue sauce. It's fucking gross. And I like thin crust pizza, and I forgot to tell him to cut it in triangles because the little tiny square pieces, then you gotta eat the middle. I don't like the middle because there's no crust. Neurotic fucking weirdo. And I had to eat this shitty pizza 2 days in a row. And work's just fucking busy, but I'm off Friday, and that's dope. And I'm gonna sleep like forever. So, mostly, my day was just chaotic and stupid. Like, just dumb busy. Like, I like being busy. I like staying busy. I like having shit to do. Because, like, when you're sitting at work and your manager's like, what are you working on? And you're like, I was just about to ask you. And then, like, cool, fucking dust the ceiling. And you're like, fuck this. This sucks. I don't want to dust the goddamn ceiling. Like, I want to do some work. So, like, I like being busy. But I don't like being so busy that there's no fucking end in sight. That's, like, it's stressful shit. I don't want to deal with that. And I'm trying not to drink soda at work. So I've been drinking Mio and coffee, but trying to drink less soda, and that's making it harder. So, yeah, my day, work, and then I made some cheeseburgers, and those were good. And then you came over here, like, let's do a fucking podcast. I'm pissed off.
Yeah, and my day was slow.
Oh wait, we saw a pig.
Oh yeah, we did see a pig.
We ran into a quick stop, and this dude was getting in his car, and we thought he had like a dog with him. We're like, that's funny. He brought his dog into the quick stop. And then he gets in the car, and, like, the dog's head pokes out of the window, and it's a fucking pig. This guy was carrying around his pet pig. It's a big-ass pig.
I mean, we live in Reading, which is a very redneck town, but at the same time, we're 6 miles from the inner city. There's definitely no farms in Reading. There's a lot of cocaine in Reading.
Meth.
Yeah.
Whiskey consumption.
Yeah, I think it's more whiskey consumption and cocaine.
Is coke the new thing?
Meth is like Reading 10 years ago.
I don't know. There was a meth bust like 3 years ago across the street from our old place.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
I don't know. Reading is very...
And heroin, of course.
I mean, if you go up the hill, cocaine is...
Well, yeah, because they gotta have money.
Yeah.
Cocaine's expensive.
That's true. Heroin's cheap. Lives are cheap. So, what are you listening to?
Today, I started with Architects, because I was like, I need something to get my blood moving, and I listened to, so on Spotify or iTunes, really, it starts with the newest, and there's no way, other than making a playlist, to, like, play old to new, which is the way I like to listen to music. So I started with the newest one, and I went backwards, and I went through, I don't know, like 4 of their albums. I tried to listen to the Here and Now again, and it still sucks, but the rest of them are great. And then, I don't know, I went got a snack or took a shit or something, and when I came back, I was like, you know what, I'm not angry anymore. I think I'm going to listen to the Wonder Years. And I listened to the Wonder Years for like, I don't know, 5-6 hours today.
What record? All of them?
All of them, except for Get Stoked on It.
The best one.
And then I listened to...
We'll argue that one day.
The B-Sides album, like, the first 2/3 of it is actually good, and then it gets shittier.
Wait, the Wonder Years B-Sides record?
Yeah.
I didn't know they had a B-Sides record.
Sleeping on Couches?
I don't think I have that.
No, it's good, mostly.
Did they drop a new record, or is The Greatest Generation still their newest?
They released a single today, which we will get into in a moment. What did you listen to today?
I've been listening in so many ways. I had Brandon listen to it before this. They're very strange. It's about 8 different genres packed into one.
And it makes perfect sense.
And it does make perfect sense. I've been listening to a lot of Drown, God's Hate, which I made Brandon listen to the other day, and both Brandon and his girlfriend Michaela said it was the worst god-awful music they've ever listened to. E-Town. I did go to that show yesterday, so I do have Eternal Void song stuck in my head, which was probably last night was probably one of the better Eternal Void sets that I've seen. They're one of my best friend, some of my best friends. They're also awesome performers and awesome musicians. Catharsis, their record that came out. Did it technically come out this year or last year?
It was last year because it was on my best of the year.
So Catharsis came out last year. It's a great record. It's so great that it is kind of hard to pull off because there's parts on that record where Logan doesn't need to breathe because it's a record, but but he needs to breathe in real life on stage. And he actually made it all the way through Erase the Sun yesterday. But then he was so out of breath from making it all the way through Erase the Sun, he tried to catch up on other stuff. But as we've seen that band progress and grow, they've every time they get better.
Absolutely.
And I'm really excited to hear some new stuff from them. What else have I been listening to? I don't know. Machine Head never stops playing. I've been listening to Anthony Jeselnik, or however you pronounce his name, comedian. I tried to find some George Carlin on Spotify today. And I tried, after reading your review on Breaking Benjamin, I tried to make it through that record, and I got 2.5 songs in before I literally wanted to blow my brains out. And that's what I've been listening to today.
So, of course, my music critic blog, Fresh from the Frying Pan, like last night actually, posted my review of the latest Breaking Benjamin album, and like, if I had to like sum up my entire like 1,000-word article, it's pretty simple. Like, this shit's boring, and Ben Burnley's a dickhead, and his new band is good, but he still sucks, and they still sound like a really bad like nu metal band that rips off of Tool, or rips off of Chevelle, who ripped off of Tool. And it's boring as fuck, but my review's probably pretty funny, so check that out. It's freshfromthefryingpan.wordpress.com. There will be a link in the description. Q's smoking, so I'll talk some. So we're currently posting on YouTube because other sites for streaming podcasts cost money, which we don't want to do. And to be perfectly honest, setting things up for iTunes seemed like a whole lot of trouble, and it was really hard to figure out, and I wanted to get the other one up in a hurry. So sometime we will eventually be on iTunes, but right now we are on YouTube, which really isn't the end of the world because YouTube's easy enough to get to, and we can leave links and stuff. So check out that blog. Make sure to check out all the links on our YouTube stuff. I think I linked our personal Facebook pages in case anybody wanted to yell at us or call us assholes or whatever.
I'd really like to, at some point, figure out which... Honestly, when it comes to technology, I'm pretty fucking brain dead. That's because I'm 96 years old. But I'd really like to be able to figure out a way to link my Spotify new stuff to Jam, so some of you guys can find some of it.
You can actually like make playlists, and
I mean, I have playlists. I just don't know how to link them to like my Facebook page or anything like that.
Look you up on Spotify.
Okay, well, if you want to look me up on Spotify, it's just I think it's just Qbert.
Is no one else on Spotify named Qbert?
No.
All right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'm sure DJ Qbert will try to sue me or something, but
is it DJ Qbert?
Yeah.
All right.
I think we're the same age too, which is weird.
I vote you fight him.
Nah. It makes sense though. Qbert the game came out in 1983, and we were both born in 1983.
Gotcha. Okay. New releases. The Wonder Years just announced that they are. They released the album. They announced their album release date. I believe they have a single up called Cardinal. I think it was called Cardinal. I haven't heard it yet. I really want to hear it. I just remembered, and now I'm pissed at myself for not remembering to listen to it earlier. But that will be cool.
We'll listen to it as soon as this is done, I'm sure.
Yeah. Anything else?
New releases.
I mean, that goddamn Breaking Benjamin album's like #1 on the charts right now. And
really?
It sucks. Yeah. It was on my fresh.
It's not that new, but did you hear the new Nickelback? Did I play that for you?
God, no.
It doesn't sound like Nickelback. It almost sounds like Mandy Moore meets Nickelback.
Wait, you told me it's like a pop record.
It's like a pop record. Like, they're already a pop rock band, but it has like beats in the background on a couple songs.
It's fucked up.
And we'll definitely listen to that too, so we can give a full opinion. But I honestly, I didn't check out that too many new releases this week. Most of the stuff I actually listened to that I thought was new this week is like 6 to 9 months old. So if anybody wants us to review new releases, you can send something our way and we'll check it out. And
if we forgot something, be sure to yell at us.
yeah.
And tell us we fucked up. Which actually, to bridge the gap between new releases and local scene, Denialist did drop a new track last night. Of course, at the time they had not announced that Cody was leaving, but the new vocalist is featured on the song. It's called Rupture. It sounds like Denialist. It's heavy and fast and mean and says fuck a lot.
It sounds more like Dynasties and less like Nomicon.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
There were comments on the YouTube that said, like, blah, 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 Cody. Obviously, since Cody's decision was made back in March, and just a few of us close people to him actually knew about it until today. Obviously, people that are on there that thought it was Cody. It was kind of funny, in a way, but at the same time, I think if you really listen to it, you can tell that it's not Cody. The highs, Cody's highs are way higher than, I think the kid's name is Jordan. And Jordan was in a band called The Beast in His Image from Columbus. They were a good band. My buddy Knox played bass in that band, and he books in Columbus for Bravo Artist. And I wish him the best. I wish Denialist the best.
Yeah. Obviously, people are going to be upset. There's going to be backlash. There's going to be comparisons. There's going to be some shit talking. But ultimately, the decision was made by Cody because it was what was best for both his life and his family's life, because he has a newborn baby, his career, and the career of the band. You know, he
if you can't put 100% into a band, you shouldn't be in a band.
Exactly. And between work, taking care of a child, trying to start a career, like he made it clear in the video they released that he didn't see being the screamer of a death metal band as a career. That wasn't his life goal. And given that the rest of them are trying to make a career out of music, he felt it was the most selfless thing to do. And I personally wholeheartedly support that decision. I mean, I know people are going to be pissed, but
the biggest thing is you have to have fun, and when it stops having fun, I mean, not that he stopped having fun, but if you're thinking about other things in life and that's not what you want to do, then you need to make that decision. And he made that decision, and I haven't really seen any backlash from it yet, and hopefully there won't be, and hopefully he'll be in here to talk with us about the fun stuff that he's planning on doing. I know we actually work together at Papa John's. That's his second job. And he's been talking about, and he actually posted in their announcement video today that he's in another band, and they won't be doing any tours or anything. They'll just be a band that plays around here and has fun and plays a show once a month or once every other month, and just keeps him somewhere here at home. So good luck to him with that, and it's not like he's going anywhere. He'll still be around the Cincinnati, Dayton, Columbus scene.
Being featured on like everybody's record at some point. At least on mine. Also, locals. Obviously, you went to the show last night. There's a lot of locals on that. Allies aside, I want to say it was Dead Set's like first real show.
Dead Set's first show, yeah.
Obviously,
the AKO Vendetta,
AKO
which
Vendetta.
is what was Ascension and has changed the name. And then Eternal Void. And then the two touring bands were Darkness Divided and Phineas. And it was a solid show. Rockstar. Isaac always... Yeah, especially for a Tuesday. But, I mean, Rockstar is always fun. I will suggest to fans out there that you don't drop acid before coming to a show. That's all I'll say.
You will get drop kicked and thrown out.
Yeah. And if you do acid, don't listen to the voices telling you that Jesus wants you to fight people. Because Jesus probably doesn't want you to fight people.
Probably not. I'm not that well read on the Bible, but I'm pretty sure thou shalt not be a dickhead and try to fight everybody is somewhere in there. That's not in there, is it?
No.
No, probably not. So that wraps up like the top of our show of getting you all caught up to date. You, at your request, Q, you wanted to tackle some social grievances before we got into arguing about some albums.
Yeah, there's several social grievances, and obviously I will also allow Brandon to give his opinion on certain things. But I'm going to vent for a couple seconds, and I'm not even going to start off with the main one to me. But one of the first things, support it, don't support it, gay marriage. I'm a Christian. I support gay marriage.
Equal rights.
Equal rights. Technically, I don't support marriage, period.
Right.
I don't think any man, woman, man, woman should ruin each other's life the way divorce does. The second factor in that is people keep saying, well, I don't want my children exposed to seeing two men making out in a park. Fair enough. I don't want to have my children exposed to two men making out in a park either when they look like they're about to blow each other in a park. I don't want my children exposed to two women making out in a park looking like they're about to go down on each other. And I sure as hell don't want to see a man and a woman making out in a park in front of kids.
That's actually
You keep that shit at home. It doesn't matter. If you want to hold hands, those types of public displays of affection are okay. But PDA is PDA for a reason. You just don't. You should not look like you're about to literally fuck with clothes on in a public setting.
Man, I was on a
unless you're getting paid for it on a porn.
Right. We were at the Crone Conservatory looking at the butterflies or whatever, and whatever park that is next to it.
Eden Park,
yeah. And, they were just running around Eden Park, which is probably kind of irresponsible, and, somebody goes over this little hill, and obviously they stopped once they saw a bunch of kids running around, but there's just two people just fucking on a blanket in the middle of Eden Park. And then, little kids saw it, and then they, packed their shit up real quick and took off, but that's fucked up. You don't do that.
Don't do it. I personally, I did it once. I didn't feel comfortable doing it. I definitely was pressured into it.
You're a slut.
Okay. I mean, that's fair enough. I was a slut. If I was still young and attractive, I'd still be a slut.
Sorry to derail.
Yeah.
Your
Anyways, so that's one of the big things about gay marriage. The other big thing that totally frustrates me and is Christians who try to quote the Bible. And I just have one thing to say about that. If you are a Christian, if you are a follower of Christ and you want to quote the Bible and you want to say you've read the whole Bible and you know the whole Bible, then that means you've read the part in the New Testament where Jesus says, where Jesus states that he is the Lamb and he is dying for all the sins and to change the rules of the Old Testament. Therefore, if you're quoting a verse from Leviticus saying to lie with another man is wrong, when Jesus came, all of that was thrown out the window. And Jesus doesn't say to lie with another man is wrong. So if you're going to quote New Testament at me, okay. I personally am a Christian that doesn't even believe in the Bible. It was written by man, inspired by God, but still written by man. It's just don't pick and choose. Because right after, no man should lie with another man, for he shall be stoned. Right after that is, if you divorce your wife, you should be stoned and she should be hung.
Yeah, look, I'm not a Christian. I'm a pretty stark atheist. Have been since I was 9. But I understand the reasoning for religion in the Bible. I get it. I don't believe it, but I get it. I get why other people need it and why other people like it. That's fine. But I absolutely agree. Look, the Bible's not a fucking roll of Starburst. You don't throw out the goddamn yellow ones just to get to the pink ones, because everybody knows the pink are the best ones. Anybody who says the pink Starburst aren't the best Starburst is a fucking liar. You're a goddamn liar. And the reason that Taco Bell only makes a pink Starburst slushie is because they know goddamn well the pink one's the best. But you're reading the Bible, you're eating your Starburst, you don't throw away the fucking pink ones. You don't get all the red ones together and eat them together too to try to prove that the red ones are the best. The pink ones are the best, beside the point. You don't pick and choose. That's fucking bullshit. There's so many versions too, because you have Old Testament, New Testament, King James Bible. You have all these different versions with conflicting information. Look, you either take the positive messages laid out through what you believe to be either truth or fiction. That's your own business, but you don't pick and choose. Like, if this were like a scientific body of work, a scientific essay stating facts, you wouldn't just pick and choose. So if you're going to state the Bible as fact, you do not pick and fucking choose. And you know full well what it says better than I do.
Yeah, I used to be called a Bible nerd. I actually went to school to become a youth minister for several years. I actually just dropped out several years ago, but mostly not because my faith had changed, mostly because I ran out of money.
And now you deliver pizza.
And now I deliver pizza. And everyone keeps telling me that's not a big boy job. And I was like, I know it's not a big boy job. If I wanted a big boy job, I'd go work at Frisch's.
That's terrible. I mean, do you make as much as you did at UPS?
I make more because they give me more hours.
Exactly, so who gives a fuck?
Exactly.
Your bills get paid.
Exactly. I take care of my responsibilities, and that's what matters.
That makes you a big boy. And obviously, the fact you're putting a dent in my couch is making you a big boy, so you're a big boy, you got a big boy job.
Which one of our jokes was worse?
I don't know.
Anyways, second topic. I really didn't care about this for the last 3 weeks. This is just my opinion. This is one where you can literally go separate opinions. The flag nonsense. And here's all I got to say about it. I don't even want to argue. I'll take your opinion on it when I'm done. But like, I don't even want to argue. It's just the rebel flag is not the Confederate flag.
That's true.
The rebel flag is associated with racism on, I would say, in the 85th percentile.
Yeah.
And something that I learned today, which obviously I learn things every day because I'm not as smart as even I think I am, but previous to the Nazi Party, the swastika was a symbol of peace.
If you flip it around, yeah, it's a like Native American symbol.
Yeah, it's also a symbol of peace in Buddhism.
Yeah, it's seen all over the place.
Yeah. So once the Nazis use it, though, nobody's going to walk around with a Nazi flag and be like, oh, no, before the Nazis. So if you want to say, oh, no, before the southern states wanted to keep enslaving black people, it was meant for Southern pride. No. If you wanted to put the Confederate flag, it's still an act of treason against this country. It's treasonous, and it stands for racism for the most part.
Exist anymore. Why are you proud of a nation that doesn't exist? Like, people in Poland don't walk around talking about their Prussian heritage. Prussia was a nation that existed out of other nations a long fucking time ago. You don't talk about that. The Confederacy's done. It's over. It lost. Like, part of the history of the United States is that the Confederacy was dissolved and we became the United States. Like,
what if this is just a ploy and the reason they're trying to fight for it is because they're still trying to plan on how to succeed from the nation?
Yeah, I goddamn dare them to. But here's my take on it. It obviously reminds a lot of people of a lot of very negative things. Honestly, it doesn't stand for anything positive. It couldn't. It absolutely fucking cannot stand for anything positive. Southern pride. Pride in the South being well known for being generally societally backward. What's there to be proud of? It's terrible.
Okay, that's a stereotype that I don't want to.
But it's so often true. It's a safe bet.
I wouldn't say that anymore, because honestly, like, everyone wants to say, like, oh, Southern people hate black people, blah, 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 blah.
I didn't say they were racist. I said they were backwards. Some of them are probably...
I would consider racist backwards.
Yeah, but they're not synonymous.
Okay.
Anyway, what really just boils my ass about this entire thing is that people immediately said, ban the Confederate flag. First of all, it's a rebel flag. It's Robert E. Lee's war flag. It's not the Confederate flag. I learned that there was a difference, like, last week, so you're not alone on that one. But they want it stricken from the record, as if it never existed. Today they announced that the Dukes of Hazzard is getting pulled off of TV.
See, I don't agree with that.
It's being pulled out of syndication because the top of the fucking car has a rebel flag on it.
See, I don't agree with that, because I think the rebel flag should stay in history books.
Absolutely.
And it should stay in museums. And Dukes of Hazzard being played in syndication is a representation of history of television at that time. Exactly. Therefore, that is okay. Because if you made Schindler's List 2 right now, you would be making a movie about history, and there's not going to be anyone that says, yo, man, you can't have swastika flags in this movie.
Are they going to fucking blur out Ed Norton's chest in American History X?
No.
Exactly. So you can't just erase things from history. The Dukes of Hazzard is a show about ignorant Southerners burning up gas and jumping over things in a car. Like, it helps to paint the picture of what used to be Southern pride. You don't cancel a show because it is set in a time where that symbol meant something else. So we agree, it's absolutely bullshit to cancel the Dukes of Hazzard. You don't strike something from history because it makes people sad. You learn from history. That's what history's for. That's why we teach history. We teach a fucked up version of history with a lot of stuff cut out of it.
It's because the winners always get to tell you what history actually was.
Exactly. The Native Americans willingly gave up America, and Christopher Columbus was a really nice guy. Total bullshit from day fucking one.
I mean, we don't even know for real if Christopher Columbus made it to America.
Oh, he did. He was a mass murdering psychopath.
Oh, see, I'm not. I don't remember all of.
He's a piece of shit, and everyone knows it. Except for first graders. They tell first graders that Chris Columbus walked in.
I mean, he does have his own day, and it's very close to Martin Luther King Day. So, I mean, they have to both be good people, right?
Yeah, actually, speaking of history being written by whoever has the most money or the biggest guns, it was recently actually disclosed to me that the United States government took full responsibility for murdering Martin Luther King in court. That's a fucking fact. They just
never heard that one.
Yeah, they just flat out said, "Oh yeah, we did that. We absolutely did that. Like 30 years ago, we did that, and paid them some tiny thing, some tiny settlement. It should have been fucking millions, and it should be a huge deal. But no one wants to remember him that way, and nobody wants to remember the United States government that way. So that's not the version you hear. Just like Chris Columbus, just like Native Americans, just like the fucking rebel flag."
At the end of the day, the one thing that I have to say is fuck Southern pride, fuck gay pride, fuck straight pride. Stop segregating yourselves. Human pride. We're all human. And if you want to support your dog and have canine pride, or support your cats and have feline pride, I understand. But stop segregating yourselves. We're already born with enough segregation, just because we are different colors, we speak different tongues.
There's class warfare. There's issues between races, nationalism, all these other things. It's a man-made construct. Most of it is geographical location, how your family was raised, how much money they had, and what color you are. Who gives a fuck?
Somebody's going to chop what I just said, though, and only like, this kid said fuck gay pride.
No. No, it's bullshit.
I'm not saying fuck gay pride. I'm saying that you should not be proud. Gay is just an adjective describing you. You should be proud of the human being that you are and every single adjective that describes you.
And not divide yourself from other people because we're all people. It's you want to take away inequality, you stop putting up barriers. Plain and simple.
So third issue, and it's the one thing that's
4.
Oh,
Gay marriage.
I went to Moeller. I can't count. What was it? Gay marriage, Confederate flag, something. I thought this was 3. Whatever.
It might be 4. I don't know.
Okay. So the big thing.
This is a star. It's a new.
It's a new bullet. Today, Jake McElfresh, who is from Porch Step, played Warped Tour. And most people that I've seen have considered it an outrage. Now, I watched the video of him playing, and there was at least 90 kids that were watching him and cheering and clapping that didn't think it was an outrage, and they were excited. And I do absolutely mean kids. If anyone doesn't know, and don't quote me because I'm horrible with actually reading the whole topic, but Jake sent inappropriate messages to someone under the age of 16.
And pictures. And the whole thing blew up in the media. He got called a creep and a pedophile and all kinds of awful things. And the question came down to, did any of it actually happen? Was it reciprocated? Does he just do this all the time? And it turned into a media fiasco, and there was very little support on his side. And he posted some really long apology after a while about his self-confidence issues and how fame and all these other things made him into a kind of lowly pervert.
The thing I want to talk about today, though, is not him. No. The big thing today is we all are yelling equality. Equality, equality, equality. I want equality, equality. And we're all hypocritically stating that. I want to know why there's thousands of people on the internet, hundreds of people on my Facebook feed calling to boycott Front Porch Step, boycott Warped Tour for allowing him to play. And at least half of the kids that are saying all this support Asking Alexandria. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, I will explain. From personal experience about Asking Alexandria. I'd say about 4 years ago, they played at the Attic. And if anybody remembers me from back then, I worked the back area at the Attic for Kilby. Just loading bands in, getting bands signed in, blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to say this as responsibly as possible because no one from Asking Alexandria actually came up and did any of this. It was the tour manager. But the tour manager, if you played at the Attic and you were a major band, you had to sign this little contract that said, I won't cuss in between songs because this is a Christian venue. I won't act out of a PG-13 actions. I won't bring girls into the green room. I won't drink or do drugs on property. Blah, 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 blah. Stuff that you would expect from a Christian venue. The tour manager walks up to Kilby and he said, he wouldn't even talk to anybody else in the back. He walked up to the owner, Kilby, and said, we're not signing it. It's fucking bullshit. We're Asking Alexandria. We'll fucking do. And I will say that this guy was not in Asking Alexandria. He was just the tour manager. He said, we're not doing it. He said, we can either not sign this. I can tear it up right now and we can play. Or we can go sit in the van or bus and leave. And you can have fun reimbursing all these people their money. So obviously Kilby with a sold-out Attic caved. And they did whatever they want. And I wasn't in the green room. I don't know for sure. But yes, there were plenty of 15-year-old girls snuck in the back door and through the front door in that green room. And I'm not saying just 15, but clearly underage girls. During their set, their singer literally on stage, where, if I remember correctly, there was probably no one over the age of 18 in their front row watching them. And they literally stopped about 6 songs in and said, we're not playing another fucking song until all you girls up front here are throwing your bras off at us and we see tits.
Classy.
In a Christian venue.
Which they knew.
They knew that they were playing in a Christian venue. And yes, they wanted to be the rock star self that they were. I heard, yes, maybe they have calmed down in the last 5 years. But at the same time, if you're gonna use that excuse, it's a double standard. The only excuse, and this is something I Google searched today, is whereas like here in Ohio, like the legal age of consent is 16, and in Kentucky it's also 16. In England, it is really the legal age of consent, and that's where Asking Alexandria is from. So literally, it is legal to do that. So I can see where it's a different standard here than there. But you still have to follow the rules if you're coming to America to do a tour.
And just it's classless either way. And it was made clear before they played that there was a contract to be signed, and they strong-armed their way through it, which is sad in itself. But your original point being that there are more people getting in trouble for this sort of stuff. I mean, I remember there's
more people not getting in trouble.
But from,
clearly,
A Day to Remember.
Yeah,
was charged. I don't know. It was accused of
allegedly.
Was it underage?
Girls,
statutory.
Yeah.
At least 3 or 4 accounts. None. I don't know that any of it ever went to court. If they settled out,
I don't think it did.
There was a story going around lately about somebody in their van. Were you
the story that I was telling you about? Yeah, I was going to get to that in a sec. I was really just trying to get across the point right now. If you're going to attack one artist for sending inappropriate pictures to somebody underage, then you also have to attack the people that are fucking those underage people. You can't just say, and I literally said something to one of the people on my Facebook feed, and I'm not going to say who, but I said something to that person. I was like, hey, Asking Alexandria did this, blah, 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 blah. And they literally said to me, and I will say it was a kid, so ignorance is whatever, but they literally said, well, Front Porch Step isn't that important, so obviously we're going to attack him. Fuck him. Asking Alexandria is the best band out there right now. No one's going to take them off the road. And I will say that I have read, and it's not substantiated, but because you can't trust everything you see on the internet, but I have read times where people have come forward saying that somebody in Asking Alexandria took something too far, and their record label, which I won't name, but you can look it up, their record label settled for them out of court.
Which really brings me to Johnny Craig, who everyone knows I love so much. I flipped him off one year at Warped Tour, and he stopped his whole set to yell at me. It was great. I ruined his whole day. With the whole MacBook shenanigans, yeah, he told everybody on Twitter that he had a bunch of MacBook computers, and he was personally selling them, and for people to just name a price, and they sent him all this money. They personally PayPal'd him all this money, which he collected to buy drugs with. There were never any MacBooks. And then his label, I'm going to go ahead and call it the label, because I hate this label, Rise Records, returned all their money, settled all of this, just the label, and in return sent him to rehab. Which, I mean, the guy's been to rehab like 7 times. Who gives a shit? Like, he's going to keep doing it. Like, the Johnny Craig shenanigans haven't stopped. Like, somebody quit his band not too long ago because they said...
What band is he in right now?
Slaves is his new thing.
Oh, that's him?
It's terrible. Somebody said that it was, I don't know, just a giant masquerade, like it was just the Johnny Craig show. And then actually, I guess that one of the other guitar players got stabbed the other day.
I did read that. That's the only reason I knew who that band was.
Yeah, for wearing skinny jeans. And it's apparently being labeled a hate crime. Straying off topic. Obviously, record labels can't just settle these things out of court. Like, that's not sending the correct message. I don't know what happened between Jake in Front Porch Step and Pure Noise Records. Was he dropped from the label?
He was dropped.
And here's the thing about his case, is that there was evidence. There was obvious evidence that he and this person had been exchanging some really inappropriate messages. I don't know. Did he know she was underage? I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
But then she cried wolf. And I guess it came out that...
she cried harassment, like that she wasn't asking for that kind of stuff. And I guess there were... I did read some of the text messages, and they were... I can't think of the word right now, but sort of conniving, like, oh, hey, like what you would say, you could say it in many different ways, but what you would say to a girl if you're trying to get their attention, like, oh, you're not texting me back? I guess you don't like me, or blah, 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 blah.
Manipulative.
Like, yeah, manipulative. Like, everybody does it. And I'm not saying that in this situation it's correct. It's not correct. But, I mean, like, you can't, it's a double standard. Like, you can't. And the one thing that you guys brought up to me is what's substantiated. Like, Jake's situation is completely substantiated through a million different websites, blah, 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 blah. And the Asking Alexandria thing has been brushed under the table.
To the point where, other than your first-hand accounts, it's mostly hearsay.
Yeah. But at the same time, maybe it's different for this generation, but I can tell you, growing up, isn't that what you just thought bands did?
Yeah.
Motley Crue in the 80s probably fucked a bunch of 15-year-olds. Fucking,
Jimmy Page abducted a 15-year-old girl and kept her in his castle. And everyone loves Led Zeppelin. Nobody thinks about the fact that he, like, forced this girl to marry him because she was in love with him, because who wouldn't be in love with Jimmy Page?
I mean, like, that is the rock star motif. That is, I mean, like, it's not just underage, but it still is.
It shouldn't be.
I mean, like, there's fucking new fucking shit about against Falling in Reverse fucking every month.
Yeah.
And,
well, that's because everybody hates Ronnie Radke. Any excuse to throw some shit.
Actually, after listening to a bunch of podcasts, as much as everyone hates Ronnie Radke, the reason that he acts like that is for everyone to hate him.
Yeah.
And it sells him massive amounts of fucking records.
Falling in Reverse released a rap album. They're a metalcore band. Like, clearly they're just doing it for attention.
Yeah. And hey, it worked.
Yeah.
So I'm not really going to talk shit about them. I mean, like, obviously if he's somewhere raping girls and diddling underage girls, then that's wrong of him. But I mean, like, I just don't understand this double standard of, like, oh, hey, it's okay if this band does it, but not if this band. And, like, so we get to, I guess, the final venting topic, and this is where I can definitely see where a lot of people, what are we at? But I can definitely see where a lot of people will argue with me, and that's fine. That's what I want. I want an argument. I want people to explain this to me, and I want a better understanding of this situation. So there's a band also on Pure Noise called No Good News that broke up about a month ago over an incident that happened in 2012. Their drummer sexually assaulted a girl. And from the girl's statement and the guy's statement, it is substantiated. From what I hear, reading through Absolute Punk and other stuff, there was a cover-up because the cover-up is clearly over, like, I can't find the cover-up type stuff from it now, so I'm not talking about the cover-up. I'm talking about the situation itself. And if you read it, basically, girl gets in the van with guy. They make out a little bit. They fool around a little bit. He thinks that means she wants to hook up. He tries to forcibly hook up with her. She states that she said no several times. Another band member steps into the van. They stop. The band member leaves. They continue to make out and then go their separate ways. My question, and the thing that I don't understand, and the thing that I hate about people that try to claim sexual assault, if he's trying to have sex with you and you don't want to have sex with him, get the fuck out of the van. Don't sit there. Okay. I understand that girls and guys don't understand each other. But girls, if you make out with a dude and you're an adult, and not even an adult in your brain, like an adult, like 18 years of age and up, if you're making out with a dude, that dude thinks you want to fuck him.
Yeah, almost always.
Almost fucking always. If you shoot the dude down, then he thinks, oh, maybe she doesn't want to fuck me. And then you start making out with him again. He goes, oh, she totally wants to fuck me. She just is trying to play hard to get.
If you're in a committed relationship and you're a new relationship and they go, not yet, we're not there yet, let's just keep making out or whatever, that's different. But this is a hookup situation. This is you're in a band and I want to hook up with the band guy. Yeah, so
making out and just making out, and people can say, oh, well, that's a shitty opinion you have, or oh, why can't you just be accepting of people that just want to make out? You know who wants to make out? Just make out? 12-year-olds. If you want to just make out, go to Thailand and make out with 12-year-olds.
Please don't make out with 12-year-olds if you're an adult. So the story blows up.
The story blows up. No Good News breaks up because of this. Pure Noise gets attacked. People are calling for a boycott of Pure Noise because Pure Noise had Front Porch Step and this No Good News band. And
the court case, or however it went, she tried to later say...
She tried to later say that he sexually assaulted her, which is what I just explained. That is the actual... There is no court case, but, like, the fact...
She said that if the other band member hadn't have
if the other band member hadn't have come in, then she clearly would have been raped.
But then if she felt feared for her life, kept kissing on the dude.
Yeah, and it's not the first time I've heard it. I've heard it locally here. Like, I was making out with this dude and I told him we weren't going to bang, and he said okay, and we kept making out, and then he's like, "Are you sure you don't want to bang?" And she was, and then I said yes, but I really meant no. If you said yes, then you said yes. If the dude seems like he wants to have sex with you, and you haven't talked about it beforehand, and you're making out, come on.
Well, obviously, I'm not an advocate for promiscuous random sexual encounters. I actually find it horrifying.
It's because you're a pussy.
Yeah, right. So obviously, if you're in situations where things haven't been discussed, chemistry has not been established, as unromantic as it is and unsexy as it is, you have to lay down guidelines. You have to be clear about what you want. You can't cry foul after the fact for attention. You can't be embarrassed about what you did and then cry foul after the fact. You also can't take advantage of somebody because of your stature in the media or because you're famous or what the fuck ever. no matter what, all of these things are wrong. Claiming that you were sexually assaulted is wrong. Sexual assault is clearly wrong. Like, these... I don't know why adults need to be told this over and over again. Like, I don't know what is wrong with people. Like, and the hardest part is everybody knows that story where somebody claimed that they were assaulted and 15 other people who were there said, no, we heard the conversation. They said we're going to do it, and then the other person got embarrassed after the fact and then claimed rape. Obviously, I'm not going to say he, she's, because I've seen it go both ways. And you can't just say that, all women regret it and then immediately claim that they were attacked or something, because that's stupid. It can go both ways. It does go both ways. Just grow the fuck up and stop being a dumbass. Like,
as stupid as it sounds, if you're just looking for a hookup, why worry about being romantic anyways? Walk up to the girl's talking to you, like, hey, you want to go back to the van? We're going back to the van to fuck. I just want to let you know that. And then she can go, oh, I don't want to have sex with you. Or, oh, why do we have to go all the way back to the van? Why can't we fuck right here in this porta potty? But then, see, that's the thing. You're going to have people attack me and say, well, you shouldn't have to say that, because what if you go back to the van and you don't want to fuck? Or what if you go back to the van and want to fuck and then change your mind? Or then blah, 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 blah.
And if that should come up, fucking say something. Do something about it.
I mean, I will say the one thing that totally throws it off, and this is something just humans do, both men and women, is how do you know when somebody is really saying no, and how do you know when somebody's playing hard to get? Because I've had it go both ways. I've had somebody say no, and I thought they were just playing hard to get, and then I had somebody that said no, and I was like, oh, okay, clearly I'm not going to do this because you just said no. And then like weeks later, they're like, I was just playing hard to get. Why the fuck didn't you try? And it's like, well, I don't know, because I don't want to get accused of rape.
It's a delicate situation, never treated as delicately as it really should be. And personally, I believe it's just that the amount that people value intimacy, just it gets less and less valuable to people every day. And that's why we have over-sexualized media. That's why we have so-called rape culture. That's why we have, slut-shaming. And that's why we have all of these things. We have all of these new terms and issues and things. And I'd say almost all of it is directly because no one values intimacy, values their bodies and their own self-esteem, and then you run into problems. And, maybe I'm a prude, maybe I'm old-fashioned, I've been called these things. If you mean no, say no. If you mean yes, make it clear that it's yes.
And if all you want is foreplay, and that's why you're saying no, just say, hey, yes, but we're going to have foreplay for at least an hour and 45 minutes before I let you stick your dick in me.
All right.
Or ride me, or which way you want to go. Anyways, so I'm done venting about that kind of nonsense.
Please feel free, if you have a problem with any of the awful things Q just said, please leave us a video reply on YouTube. Write us a shitty message.
Come shit in my mailbox.
Both of our Facebook pages are linked. The Angry Old Dudes Facebook page will be linked as well. Argue with us, please. Tell Q that he's a chauvinist piece of shit. Call me a pussy. Whatever you got to do. We want to hear it. We absolutely want to hear it. This is not just our show. This is going to be everybody's show. Give us a reason to be angry, old dudes. So
I've got one more thing. It's not really a socialist show. It's just a thought. For those people, I'm sure there's a lot of people that come in and out of everyone's life out there, and people that maybe you meet once or twice, or maybe people you were friends with 10 years ago. And you're just like, I wonder where that dude is, and I wonder what's going on in that dude or girl's life or person's life. And if you ever feel that way, because I feel that way about a lot of people that I meet, like, I'm always wondering, like, just to name a few, like, where Mike from Giving Chase, they were one of my favorite bands. They always came through and played a bunch. Like, I wonder what that dude's doing. I know he lives in Philly, or he did live in Philly last time I talked to him. But just people in general, like, don't wait. Try to stay in somewhat contact with anyone that you have a memory with. Because somehow, and I don't know how on social media today, but somehow I had a friend. I haven't seen him in probably 2.5 years, and I found out today that he had passed away. But he passed away 1.5 years ago, and I just found out. And that was just because another friend, a mutual friend of ours, posted happy birthday, missing you, dude. And it clicked something in my head, and I never knew that he had even passed away. So always keep in touch with those that you care about, but also keep in touch with those people that you just, like, think about. Like, there's plenty of people, and I mean, one day, if you get old, you'll be the last one, and you just won't be able to talk to those people anymore. But anyways, it's time for our favorite segment, and obviously we talked a lot about social issues today, so this probably will not be as long as last week's Under Oath discussion, because Brandon's probably going to say, no, your record sucks, and I'm going to say, no, your record's boring. But the best record edition for this week that we are arguing is Atreyu. And obviously, I actually need to grab my phone.
A quick note, Atreyu is back together and writing a new record. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it's actually supposed to come out in a couple months. But why don't you go, I guess, first.
All right, so here's the history with me and Atreyu. I heard Atreyu for the first time, hated it. They were wearing a lot of makeup. The kids who were listening to it were wearing a lot of makeup. I was listening to, like, I don't know, Muse and ska bands at the time.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, shut up.
Not together. Like, separate, they're fine, but yeah. Muse and ska band?
That'd be terrible. So, I don't know, fast forward way after high school, I joined a new band, and, we're in the car, driving up to practice, which was, like, fucking 40 minutes away. And they introduced me to all kinds of stuff that I'd never really given a chance to, Atreyu being one of them. So, I'm listening back, I'm like, this isn't as bad as I thought. I actually kind of like some of this, but here's my policy on Atreyu, is that everything before the curse totally sucked. Half of the curse actually sucked. 1 or 2 songs on Death Grip kind of sucked. Lead Sails was pretty good, even though it was super duper different. And parts of it kind of sucked. And
Congregation
of the Damned was a giant pile of shit. So, there are songs that I like. It's hard for me to say I really, really like the band because I dislike so much of their material. But if I had to pick a favorite record, it's going to be Death Grip on Yesterday. Because it is the most concise body of work. It is finally produced well. It is performed well. It's not got obvious mistakes in the guitar work that you can hear. It doesn't have amps that sound like they're going to break, like all over on the Curse. It is well produced. The bass player Mark put some vocals down on the record that are way better than Alex's vocals. It's pretty easy to tell when you're actually listening for it. Everything was in perfect working order. Songs were, for the most part, better than they had been. But everything was just lined up in the right places. The production was right. It was a good record. That said, there are songs on The Curse that I like. There are songs on Lead Sails that I like. There's not a single song in Congregation of the Damned that I could even tolerate. It honestly sounded like 9-year-olds with instruments for the first time. It was abysmal, and they broke up after that for a reason. Suicide Notes and Butterfly Kisses is a goddamn disgrace. And I don't. Wasn't there something before that? An EP?
There's actually two. There was a EP that I didn't even know about called Visions in '99, and Fractures in the Facade, which is an EP. Facade. Fuck you.
God damn it. Is that Moeller education?
Yeah. Which is actually 3 of the songs off that EP are on Suicide Notes and Butterfly Kisses, anyways. So you're done with your side?
Yeah, it's Death Grip. It's by 1,000 times Death Grip. Like, Creature's a great track. It's a great way to open a record. The Untitled Finale is fucking huge. Like, I'm drawing a blank on the track listing here, but it's just a good record. There are good songs on The Curse. Right Side of the Bed's dope. Even though Bleeding Mascara was clearly played by a session player because Big Dan is not that good of a guitar player. They're abysmal live. There's no way he nailed that sweep picking part. It's either comp takes or a keyboard or another guitar player. Death Grip, end to end, is the best record. And I stand by that statement 1,000%.
Well, one of the things, because I brought it up last week, I will start by saying, because I looked it up, Lead Sails is their most commercially successful record, because Becoming the Bull is technically their biggest single that they've ever had. I don't think I've listened to Congregation of the Damned.
Oh, don't. Just don't. Just goddamn don't.
Lead Sails makes no sense to me, because how do you go from being a metalcore band to a radio rock band?
It's not radio rock.
Becoming the Bull is definitely a radio rock song, which is why it's on.
Metalcore riff, and there's a breakdown.
Okay, that's like saying Avenged Sevenfold's still writing fucking metalcore riffs.
No, they're
even though
not,
they're basically brother bands because they live fucking 2 blocks from each other.
But they're not playing. That's like, okay, goddamn it. Becoming the Bull could have been on The Curse. Just because it had a bigger chorus. Dude, Right Side of the Bed has just as big of a chorus. Becoming the Bull could have been on any one of those records. Avenged Sevenfold, on the other hand, went from a skate punk band to a metalcore band to a butt rock band in a hurry. Nothing on Your Fucking Nightmare. That couldn't have been on Waking the Fallen. It couldn't. It wouldn't. It was impossible. You could not put that song on that record. Becoming the Bull, if you fuck up the production really, really bad, could have been on The Curse.
Okay.
Falling Down, now that song did not belong on any record. But that record was produced by John Feldman, who has a tendency to overproduce records. He has a tendency to fuck up records. He puts too much keyboards on everything, and that's coming from me, and I love keyboards. He's a fucking dickhead, and he ruins records. There are parts of Lead Sails that are just way over the top. But to say Becoming the Bull was a fucking radio rock song is bullshit. 1,000% bullshit.
Okay. It was a radio hit song because it was on the fucking radio.
Just because it was popular
non-fucking
does not
stop.
make it.
It was on the radio. It was.
But it's not radio rock.
Okay.
I'll
agree with that, but I'll say, like, there was, for that, like, 2-year period there where 96 Rock here was all of a sudden okay because they played that one Atreyu song and they finally started playing Rise Against.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, hey, I can hear this once a day, maybe occasionally. Lead Sails is an okay record to listen to. I personally hate the production of the guitar tone. It sounds blurry.
I'll give you that.
A Death Grip on Yesterday.
Oh, and side note, even though I love the song Blow, because it's got that 80s, like, fucking 80s sleazy shit going on Lead Sails, it reminds me of Snake Devil from Scary Kids record. I love when metalcore bands do the 80s metal thing for, like, one song, not fucking Falling in Reverse and Escape the Fate, who did it for their entire careers.
Yeah.
Blow is a cool-ass song, but getting the fuckhead from Buck Cherry on it is a mistake. That was a weird cameo. It didn't make any goddamn sense. I love that song, and I hate that verse.
It's because they started playing Rock on the Range together.
Yeah, and I absolutely hate that they made Alex sing. He's bad. He can't sing. He can hardly scream. But that was my qualm with Lead Sails. Mostly I liked it.
A Death Grip on Yesterday. It doesn't stand out to me. But that's to me.
How does it not stand out?
Because it sounds like they rushed it. There's like 4 great songs on there and filler.
X's and O's?
It's a great song.
Okay, what about Creature?
It's a good song.
Okay.
Hang on, let me get to this fucking track listing just like you are.
Yeah.
Our Sixth Story Thus Far was a good song.
We Stand Up, that's a fun one.
It's okay, but
Like a punk rock
but beyond that, it's filler.
Yeah.
It's like I said, there's 4 good songs on here, and the rest of it is filler.
I really had a hard time finding like a bad song on here. Not the
Again, I also don't. I feel like the guitar work, not even the guitar work, but the guitar tone is musty and in the background.
See, now that's where I'm gonna disagree with you, because for the first time, it actually sounds like their amps are turned up to the proper volume. There's parts on the Curse where, first of all, there's a flub note in one of them, and they just glazed over it.
First of all, half the Curse is recorded in a completely different place than the other half of the Curse.
Okay, but the people have made that work. The guitars don't have enough distortion. It sounds like Bon Jovi. It's bad.
Bon Jovi's on the Curse. That's why it sounds like Bon Jovi.
Yeah, that's probably why it came to mind. It wasn't modern sounding. The amps weren't set right. It was a mess. But on a Death Grip on yesterday, the guitars were set right. That was the mix great. It was okay. But it was also on Victory. Keep in mind that every one of these except Lead Sales and Congregation were on Victory Records. Victory Records made everything sound like shit, except Streetlight Manifesto, which honestly, they don't have great production, but they're a ska band, so they're allowed to have mediocre production. And they did really good things with the sleeping. And no one knows about or gives a fuck about the sleeping.
I know, I have their records, but I don't give a fuck about them.
I love the sleeping. Except for the first record with that Cam, totally sucked.
And honestly, I'd say in the last 12 years, the only good record that Victory has put out is Comeback Kids Wake the Dead.
And did it sound like Boot?
No.
Like
No.
mix-wise? See, I remember Victory Records being advertised on Fuse, and everything had a bad mix. It was a shitty mix. Tony didn't give a fuck. So
I mean, he does give a fuck.
About the mixes, really?
No.
Exactly.
He gives a fuck about how it's going to sell.
Yeah.
But anyways.
I think that's the best production that's not overproduced. It's correctly produced. The mix, I'll give it a 9.
Okay. The Curse, I don't like it.
I like parts of it.
Of course I'm going to like Bleeding Mascara, and Right Side of the Bed was on every fucking video game that year.
It was such a good song, though.
And it's okay, but it honestly, it doesn't make sense on that record, because it clearly is a single, but there's nothing else on that record that sounds like that.
Yeah.
Until you get to the reissue, which is the reissue, which they reissued 6 months after it came out. Like, usually there's a year or something. I guess nowadays it's even quicker. Yeah. But, like, then, it's 6 months after it comes out, and they go, oh, hey, we added this Bon Jovi cover. It's got a sweet breakdown in it.
Which, it was okay.
It's okay, but we'll get to the reason why I hate that in a second. So, The Curse is an okay record. The second single off of it, which was what? Crimson or something?
It's Bleeding Mascara, then Right Side of the Bed, then The Crimson.
Okay, so the third single, The Crimson, I can't stand that song. I know some people, it's their favorite Atreyu song ever, and I just can't fucking stand it. It bores the shit out of me.
Look, the attitude was right, the performance was crap, the mix was crap. There's rumors going around that people wrote the record for them. I've heard that before.
I wouldn't doubt it.
It's not great, but there are good songs on it. The hell, there's 2 great songs on it. Like Bleeding Mascara, sure, it's got the pussiest title ever, but it's a pretty good song.
It is a pretty good song.
To accept it because of the title.
I just don't understand the change of production sound between Bleeding Mascara and Right Side of the Bed.
The Right Side of the Bed sounds like 80s stuff.
No, Right Side of the Bed sounds like... Okay, just to me, obviously I don't know music, and that's one of the big things and the reasons why we argue and blah, blah, blah. But this is the best analogy that I can figure out. Bleeding Mascara sounds like they spent $10,000 on it to fucking mix. Right Side of the Bed sounds like they spent $50,000 on it to fucking mix. It just doesn't sound as crisp and clear in the mix.
You do mix certain songs
Differently.
to mix them as singles. That's happened before.
Yeah, and that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, I mean, they very well could have recorded them at different times. They needed a single.
I'm pretty
out.
sure they did.
Yeah, they needed a single out. They needed something for the comp. They recorded this as a test to see how the new record would sound, and then the rest of the record sounded different. That's happened. Beartooth did it. Beartooth put I Have a Problem on their album, and the mix was completely different. Everything about it was completely different. But it was the old version just because they knew people would want it on the record. It didn't sound right.
So anyway, all those records, like I said, Congregation I never listened to, Lead Sails was okay. I will give Lead Sails maybe a 4 out of 10. Death Grip on Yesterday, a 7 out of 10. The Curse, a 6.5 out of 10. And of course we come to, Brandon's least favorite and my favorite Atreyu record, Suicide Notes and Butterfly Kisses.
First of all, do you honestly expect a grown man to like an album with that title? Come on.
No, but like you said, you didn't listen to Atreyu in 2002.
No, I listened to Atreyu in 2009.
Yeah, well...
And I thought it was a terrible title then.
It was fucking fantastic musically when it came out. It's definitely one of the fucking godfathers of the new wave of metalcore. Sort of. I mean, like, not what new metalcore is now. But, I mean, it was a great record for the time. I remember there was actually a show that basically had two bands that sounded like each other and two bands that sounded like each other, and it came through. And it was Killswitch Engage and Shadows Fall when they sounded more similar, and Atreyu and From Autumn to Ashes. And they basically... And Atreyu and From Autumn to Ashes had so similar because you had a screamer up front and the drummer sang. And Atreyu was... and From Autumn to Ashes were both the same way with that. I can still listen to this day, Suicide Notes and Butterfly Kisses from front to back, not skip a song.
Which is funny because I will listen to 10 seconds of it and turn it off. It sounds like a tin can. Alex hadn't even pretended to learn how to scream yet. He sucks now. He sucks on Death Grip. Like, he's a terrible screamer. Like, I actually used him for inspiration when I was learning to scream because I thought, if he can get famous doing that, I can learn how to do that and be better than that. I'll be fine. Like, that's how bad his screaming is. Like,
I like it. I loved it at the time. Excuse me. And I still love it to this day. Deanne the Arsonist is my favorite Atreyu song. It's track 5 on that record. And the reason that I go back to that I hated Bon Jovi because at Warped Tour 2005 was the first time I ever saw Atreyu not play Deanne the Arsonist. And they replaced it with the Bon Jovi cover.
Really? You spiteful ass. God.
Deanne the Arsonist was their best song off this record.
Look, let's review some song titles here.
A Song for the Optimist.
Tulips are better.
Yeah, Two Lips.
Yeah, tulips on your... Would you rather have roses on your piano or tulips on your organ? Yeah, that's a terrible joke. It's a terrible fucking joke.
It's 2002. Where were you in 2002?
Listen to the Backstreet Boys because I was 11.
Exactly. This is like the Backstreet Boys of metalcore.
Yeah, lip gloss and black. That doesn't excuse it for not being shitty. Just, you can't keep using the date that it came out as a reason for it sucking.
Yes,
well,
I can.
Of course it sounded like shit. It was 2002.
Yeah, the production and your mix and all that kind of stuff.
Did this genre of music just have zero money? Did they not have access to the same microphones
Pretty
that
much.
Metallica did?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's bullshit. Like,
no one was going to dump the kind of money that they dump into production value now.
I don't know. I just don't think they cared.
I mean, probably that too.
Like,
and I said,
some schmuck in a basement.
No, it was more like, hey, it's okay. Here's the thing, and this is the thing, and I know this is one of the reasons why you don't necessarily care for hardcore. Hardcore isn't about the music; it's about the heart and the voice and what you put into it. And metalcore in this time period was closer to hardcore, and it wasn't about your image, and it wasn't about how great you sounded.
And yet
it was
they
about
acted like vampires. So clearly, it was about image. All their songs are about vampires.
I mean, clearly them and 18 Visions and Avenged, the rest of all those Orange County bands clearly were starting that nonsense.
Yeah.
But
So it wasn't about image?
But they still had heart in their songs.
Yeah.
And they still gave a shit.
They didn't give a shit because Dan Jacobs never learned how to play guitar. It's a mess. Like, you listen to Congregation of the Damned, recorded, I don't know, 10 years after...
not 7 years after. Suicide Notes is 2002, Congregation's 2009.
Was it? I thought it was later than that even. It's even so, that record's a sloppy fucking mess. Like, what trying
It
was
fucking rocks.
What does?
Suicide Notes.
It's shit. It's terrible.
No, it's not.
God, fuck.
It's terrible from your, I want to produce everything fucking perfectly and play everything
like
perfectly.
music.
Okay, well, I want something that sounds closer to noise, but maybe has rhythm.
Okay, so in that, what's your knock on Death Grip on Yesterday then? Obviously, I don't like the record you like. So what stops Death Grip from being your favorite record?
I was saying, I know you're trying. This is what you want to get out of me, but I'll say 50% nostalgia.
It's a lame reason.
Death Grip is way too poppy.
Poppy.
It's clearly they don't even have a record that's a pop record. But I'm saying they went too, like, hey, we're writing these songs to actually sell records now instead of writing these songs to have fun and do what we want.
I'm pretty sure they used the phrase balls deep in hate on that record.
Yeah?
Now, that's a shitty lyric, but that's not something you write.
Yeah, and it
to
probably
sell records.
inspired fucking every Amur record that is sold.
No. See, that's different. That we're going to say something offensive to sell t-shirts shit didn't start until like 5 years ago.
No, that's not true. That started with the first Amur record in 2007, and that was 8 years ago.
Okay, fine. Fuck Amur anyway. But they didn't say balls deep in hate. Let's analyze that. Balls deep in hate. That's not some shit you say so that you can get on Hollywood records 3 years after the fact. That's some shit that you must have fucking meant. That's some dark shit, he said. There's no, he tried to make a pop record. What's the difference? It sounds slick. It's well performed.
I don't like the guitar tone in it.
But you prefer the staticky bullshit.
Yeah, like a real guitar sounds.
I play guitar. That's not how guitar sounds.
Actually, there is more on Suicide Notes and Butterfly Kisses that I would see you play in a band than there is from Last Grip of Yesterday. Or Death Grip on Yesterday.
Which is funny because I learned how to scream listening to the Creature.
I'm not talking about your vocals.
And
I'm talking about your...
Oh, yeah, okay. I play guitar like a fucking turkey, apparently.
You do kind of play guitar like it.
I don't have neck jowls. I have none of that.
Speaking of turkeys, I saw a turkey golfing the other day. Not relevant. I just wanted to say it.
You saw a turkey playing golf or on the golf course?
No, on the golf course while I was golfing.
Did you hit him with the ball?
No. Why would I do that? That totally goes against everything I believe in.
You're a vegetarian. That's all right. You don't want to hit a turkey with a golf ball?
No.
You don't want to hear the noise it makes?
No.
All right. I mean, I don't want to kill them.
I'd rather just aim at people.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I just want to know what happens when the turkey gets hit with a golf ball.
I don't know. It probably depends on where it hits. This was a tall turkey, too. It was probably...
Intimidated by the turkey?
I mean, he was probably like 4.5 feet tall.
I don't think that's true. I don't think turkeys are that tall.
4
feet. That's a whole person. That's a
midget.
Yeah, it's a dwarf.
It's a very long neck on this turkey.
It's been one hell of a turkey. In that case, you might have needed to hit him with a golf club, not the golf ball.
Yeah. So if we're in woods, we can probably go find the turkey.
You're saying that there are wild turkeys roaming around Winton?
No, I mean there's probably like there's probably like turkeys that they have in Winton Woods. I mean, I guess wild, but not really wild.
They plant the turkey like
yeah, they just put. I don't know.
I think you're talking out of your ass. I don't think you saw a turkey.
I totally saw a turkey.
Was it a turkey or a peacock?
It was a turkey. I thought it was a peacock.
Was it a chocobo?
I don't know what a chocobo is.
I hardly know what a Kokomo is. I don't know. It's a Final Fantasy thing, or
Okay.
I don't know.
Anyways, check out everything by Atreyu besides Congregation of the Damned.
It's awful.
I
They
will
did a
be.
cover record.
I will be. Oh, I did see that on here. I've definitely never listed.
They did a cover record, covers of
It
the
says
Damned.
EP. So how many songs are on it? Do you know?
It's like 8 or.
Is there anything halfway decent on it?
They did The Boys Are Back in Town. I think it was like a split EP.
God, everybody fucking does. The Boys Are Back in Town.
Like I love
Living on
Fender.
the Edge, Holiday in Cambodia. They do a cover of My Own Summer. I kind of want to hear that.
Yeah,
Because I
it's them
kind of
and,
want to
like,
hear them doing a Deftones cover.
It's them and like I think Architects is on it.
Oh, really?
There's other bands like at least on one track. I know Sam Carter's on The Boys Are Back in Town.
Oh, I'm going to add this to the list of stuff we look at after this podcast.
Yeah. Anyway, Congregation of the Damned is a shitstorm. Lead Sails has its high points. It's a little overdone. I still like it. I don't want to call it. It's like the Black Album. There's a defining line between Metallica's records when they made the Black Album. It was different. Lead Sails is their Black Album.
I just want to say that does not mean we are trying to say Atreyu and Metallica are on the same
Not
page.
even close. But to me, Death Grip is the more cohesive body of work. Favorite album. We're talking about an album here.
Yeah.
An entire album. It's got to be their best.
I will
We were
agree.
counting
I will
songs.
agree with you on best. If we're going best, because we were supposed to do best and favorite, best, I will say is probably that record. But favorite, Suicide Notes, I can listen to every single song on that record. I can't.
Yeah.
The Curse, I can listen to 6 songs. Death Grip, I can listen to 4 songs. Lead Sails, I can listen to 2 songs. And I've never listened to Congregation.
I can't find 4 songs in The Curse that I like. It might be 4, honestly. But I don't think there's a single song in Death Grip I don't like. There's some that don't stick out as well to me. But it was all good.
I mean, I personally don't like X's and O's. I mean, like...
Oh, God. The verses, it's Alex, and it's bad singing, screaming, yelling shit.
It sounds like
Such a
it's...
good song.
Okay, but like, it's... And this is why I don't understand why you hate Suicide Notes. And maybe it's because you've never really given Suicide Notes a chance. X's and O's sounds like they took 3 separate songs from Suicide Notes and melded them together and then overproduced it.
Overproduced it. Accurately produced it. Let's look at its contemporaries.
If it's not recorded in a garage, it's overproduced.
Let's look at its contemporaries.
On a 4-track.
When was Death Grip put out?
2006?
Something like that. What else came out around that time?
Hang on.
When was Waking the Fallen?
2006. Waking the Fallen was 2002. It was the same year as Suicide Notes.
Okay, so
Or maybe 2003.
Waking the Fallen sounds exponentially better produced than Suicide Notes.
Okay, but Waking the Fallen was also supposed to sound the way that it sounds, and Suicide Notes was supposed to sound the way that it sounds.
Shitty?
Because Atreyu was still trying to be like, hey, we want to be a metalcore band, but we also want to be like AFI.
Yeah. Okay, well then when did City of Evil come out?
2006.
And
Same as Death Grip.
so City of Evil's even slicker produced than Death Grip.
Yeah, Avenged will always dump more money into than Atreyu.
Well, because they need to try harder because they're shitty. But to say it's overproduced, they're contemporaries. They're neighbors, according to you.
They are neighbors.
They like share a treehouse or some shit.
Probably.
Yeah, like California kids don't have tree houses.
Orange County. They're both in Orange County. Their dads probably bought them trees to make them tree houses.
But you compare Death Grip to City of Evil. Obviously, it's not overproduced. It's accurately produced.
Okay.
It doesn't sound any more slick than a Killswitch Engage record. It doesn't sound any more produced than All That Remains. It's a little bit more produced than most As I Lay
Actually, I
Dying
would say
records.
it would be less produced than all 3 of those.
Exactly. So it's not overproduced.
It's overproduced for them.
It's overproduced.
Okay, it's differently produced. It's differently
It's
produced.
accurate.
And I still think the fucking guitar tone on that and Lead Sails are fucking muddy as shit.
Okay, a lot of Lead Sails guitars sound like total asshole. I'll give you that. But not half.
And it's not even their playing, it's just the tone.
I know.
It sounds like, hey, I'm going to throw your amp in the lake, and then we're going to mic it.
Well, it sounds like The Curse was recorded on a practice amp. And there's spots where you can hear the guitar fucked up. I don't remember what song it is. But there's literally this really long guitar intro. And there's a part where he literally misses the fret and just mutes it instead. And they just left it. They didn't even try another take. It's terrible. But that's raw music, right? That's how it's supposed to sound? Shitty?
I mean, we'll argue it plenty of times in the upcoming weeks. But 9 times out of 10, especially newer bands, the first record I hear from a band will be my favorite.
That's a shame you didn't hear a different one first then.
I mean, I think you would have liked this record if you would have listened to it in 2002 and you liked this music in 2002.
Maybe if...
Especially before you went to school for all this nonsense.
See... Okay. I still liked well-produced music long before I went to school for audio. I still like...
Clearly not. You listened to ska as a kid.
I still like poorly produced music now that I've been to school for audio production. Like, I still like the Unseen. It sounds like garbage, and I like it because it sounds like garbage, but it's punk music. It's supposed to sound like garbage.
Who's worse, Unseen or Stun?
Unseen or who?
Stun? Do you not remember Stun?
No.
They came out at the same time as the Unseen. They were supposed to be like the Backstreet Boys version of Unseen. They all dressed really pretty, and they had like... Probably the first time I ever heard a backtrack behind like a punk band. It was weird, but like they both played Warped Tour.
Speaking of Backstreet Boys and like punk bands and stuff, do you remember Twisted Method?
No.
They were like rap metal, and they wore like these like ridiculously fuzzy trip pants. And then
I should know, but no.
They were abysmal. And then the lead singer of that band ended up playing bass for Dope on a tour, and then Edsel Dope and Trip from Twisted Method ended up making a band, Makeshift Romeo, and it was like this like pop.
I know who Makeshift Romeo is.
It was alright. It was cool.
It's okay.
That's a band that like they were like industrial metal Good Charlotte. Like they were clearly the ones that were like wearing a costume.
Okay.
So
I'll check that out too. So
don't. It sucks.
What?
It sucks.
I'll still check it out.
Oh god, you'll probably like it. Actually,
Probably. What was that band? That local band you played for me the other day that I like? They were new metal, sound like a better Drowning Pool.
Oh, that was Datum Point.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah, anybody out there, if you've seen or heard Datum Point, or want Datum Point to come back, or have not heard Datum Point, they have a record called Wake the Dead. It is pretty cool. What we're talking about.
It's literally Drowning Pool, but better.
Yeah.
So, clearly, Brandon is a Death Grip kind of guy, and I'm a Suicide Notes, and feel free to chime in and be like, man, I don't know why you didn't give Congregation a chance, because that's their best record, blah, blah, blah.
It was about zombies, and look, I love zombies, and I like records about zombies, but it was terrible.
And I'm sure when their new record comes out in a couple months, we'll review it. So, to wrap up this podcast, we're going to give just the shows that are coming up within the next week. And that would be...
Fuck You, Pay Me, DSA, Monitor Lizard, Iron Oath, Cold Sore.
That would be at the Side Central on July 3rd, which is tomorrow or Friday? Friday? Friday sounds right. Friday. And then Saturday, July 4th would be... Drown Point Blank at the Side Central. That's $6. And that show should probably start around 7.
The 7th of July is the Cincinnati Comic Book Expo. You'll probably go. I might go.
I need you guys to go because I already tried to sign up as a team by myself, and they said you have to have at least 2.
What's our team?
If we win, it's like $50 in Queen City Comic gift certificates plus free entrance to the Comic Expo this year.
Do we have costumes? What are we doing?
No, I mean, we just need to go there and answer questions. That's what it is. It's trivia.
I thought we were doing cosplay stuff.
No, it's just trivia.
Ah, okay. Well, take Alex Craven so you don't get your ass kicked.
I haven't seen Alex in forever.
Well, he's around.
Yeah. I mean, he said he was going to listen to this, so shout out to Alex.
Way to be the best at Star Wars trivia. The 10th of July, that's Puddle of Mud, Seven Circle Sunrise, Livid and Rootbound. 7-Eleven, that's I Prevail, and Danger Kids, as well as on the other side of town, Speak Up Saturday at the 86 Club. Side note, if you live near a 7-Eleven convenience store on 7-Eleven, July 11th, that is free Slurpee Day, you'll get a free small Slurpee every time you walk in the door. If you live in like Chicago or New York or some shit, and there's a 7-Eleven like every 15 feet, get like 100 Slurpees, alright? Get them because we don't have 7-Eleven. Like, I was in goddamn Toledo the last weekend to see Coheed, which is cool, by the way. And we found a 7-Eleven, and, like, I almost just, like, ejaculated in excitement at the sight of a 7-Eleven. Like, I was thirsty as fuck anyway. But, like, I saw a 7-Eleven, and it just makes me happy. So I got a Slurpee, even though I needed water because I was dehydrated. So on 7-Eleven... if you live near a 7-Eleven, or 15 7-Elevens, get yourself a free fucking Slurpee. Tell your friends to get free Slurpees. Like, run these bastards. They're not going to run out of business, but, like, try to run them out of business with the free Slurpees. And do it because we can't get them. The closest 7-Eleven is Columbus, and I'm not driving that far for a goddamn 7-Eleven.
Why not? Let's do it.
Like, we were just talking about this with the goddamn Circle K last week. Why can't we have a fucking 7-Eleven?
Because it's Cincinnati. We don't have any Denny's, no Hardee's,
it's bullshit.
no 7-Eleven.
Muffin from goddamn Hardee's. This is the sausage biscuit from Hardee's. It's like the best sausage biscuit. And then I want to go across the street and get a motherfucking Slurpee. 7-Eleven. Go to 7-Eleven. Get a Slurpee. And think about me and my dumb face. Moving on. 7-12 is the jam and draw. Maybe we'll have more information on that if... No idea.
I mean, no clue, but that pretty much wraps up what is coming up in the next week, and we'll definitely be talking to you.
I don't know what the date is, so...
Today?
First.
Today's the 1st.
Yeah, I went like 2 weeks.
Yeah, you went, yeah.
You'll hear
it's
all
okay.
of this next week.
And who knows? I mean, maybe something comes up and I get pissed off, and next week we do Tuesday. Maybe next week we do Wednesday. Maybe next week we do Thursday. Maybe Brandon gets run over by a tractor and I got to do it by myself on Sunday. Who knows? Yeah. So
I want to avoid tractors now. Thanks.
Can you find a tractor here in Reading?
Maybe. I saw a pig.
Yeah, but I mean, not a tractor.
He's probably got a tractor.
Probably, but I mean, like Matt said, he lives out in Adams County. Yeah. Support your local businesses, support your local shows, and here at Angry Old Dudes, we will see you next week.
Bye.